I know I say I'm always so excited, but I'm really, really so excited today to have Isabella James here.
Thank you. I'm so honored. I, met you last year and made a couple TikToks and stuff, but like I just love your energy. And even though it's kind of a weird experience that we all had of how we met, I'm glad it happened. So I'm happy to be here.
Me too. The Barbie TikTok that we made was my first one to get 1 million views.
Oh, my heart. I love that.
That's all thanks to you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Just kidding.
What did you do before the world of, fan sites and Instagram modeling?
Yeah. So yeah, I love because you shared what you used to do. I'm like, that's hot though. Like, because I'll be real, like because you're like from corporate, which I know you've shared before.
Yeah.
And so like I love that. I've been kind of hoeing for a while.
I love how honest you are. You're like
hoeing, No, but okay. So before that though, I honestly like I just did like really basic ass. Like I think my first job was like Quiznos, and then like I did sales calls. So like literally though, the first job I ever got fired from was like a call center, which was just like, it's a numbers game, it wasn't anything really personal, but it was like such a just like weird time in my life that I was like so depressed. And like literally I became an entrepreneur after that. It wasn't like at that time where I'm just like, this, I'm never doing this, and I became some like successful CEO. Absolutely not. A lot of trials and tribulations, but I realized from that point, like it was disturbing to me that like, oh wow, like just because like I wasn't making the numbers that you wanted, like my livelihood was taken basically, and like I was like a struggling college student at the time. And so like I literally went and did the only like studio porn that I've ever done. I don't want to say professional porn because it definitely was not professional, but and I'll be real, because I needed to make rent money, and that was the first adult thing I ever did. So I started doing StreamMate originally, and was doing like femdom stuff. And then I was introduced to Snapchat, and I was like, wow, I'm like, I can make a lot more money doing like quote vanilla stuff. So I did that, I think for like 2 years before I got like really serious about it. Because I was like, damn, some of these girls are making hella money. Like, I can make this money too. So I really got into like marketing and stuff like that. And that's when I like really started taking like my business more seriously. And I saw that there's like so much more potential.
So I wanted to ask you a little bit more about sort of your, spiritual bimbo brand. What can people expect if they come to you for sort of like the spiritual coaching?
So I don't do like actual spiritual coaching, and that's just because I'm a pricey bitch, to be honest with you.
I love it. I had more the mindset part where you're
so like I only coach other models right now, but because I had a guy on, and I've had people ask me on Instagram, and I'm like, I'm open to it. I'm like, but honestly, $500 an hour, and they don't have that money, So I'm like, but my time's precious, and that's why I say that everything else, I'm like, I could be doing other stuff. And it's like, even though like I want to help people, at the end of the day, I also create my boundaries, because there's still gonna like, there's the guys that just like want to get on a FaceTime with me, like that kind of thing. Yeah, right now I'm just coaching models, because I find I have passion in business coaching, but in like the spiritual coaching, it's like I have to find a space where I can find people that are gonna be serious about it. I'm, I've been single this last year, and since I've been, doing YouTube and now Twitch, like I share kind of my little like dating stories, and I shared some stuff on Twitter the other day just about like some guys I'd slept with like recently. And, this one person commented, and they're like, oh, because I was like, damn, I've been kind of slutty the last few months. I'm gonna get back to like my, my sacred self. And they're like, oh, I wish I would have met you during this time so we could have had sex. I was like, I wouldn't just have sex with you. Like, right. And, you know what I mean? And shout out to people that are just into that, but that's just not me. And just because I'm like, a creator as well, like that doesn't mean like, I'm sorry guys, I say this in all my interviews, like I'm not the plumber and the plumber's brother. And like, I'm sorry, it's a fantasy, and I'll be real, and it's like, that's because that's like you guys want to hear. It's called role play, and it's like shame. And there's the girls who are like, no, that's not your brother, and you're disgusting for saying that. I'm sorry. Like, and the fact that you don't feel like you have enough value that you have to like create this facade that you like, no, that's true. Well, even like my ex, he's like, don't tell them it's not your stepbrother. I'm like,
I don't know where I'm actually supposed to find people to date. And I'm like, I've been joking. I'm just going to make a boyfriend application, like online, like 12 questions.
Yeah, do e-date. I'm going to start doing e-dates, you know, on Twitch.
You might as well. Oh my goodness. Like, I just think it's so funny.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what it is, where it's just like, you know, especially as like, we love you, but it's like, just because you love us doesn't mean that we like want to date you.
Right. And it doesn't mean that even if you are my boyfriend, that we're making content. Like, that's actually a lot of time.
I think some guys, like I was talking, I'm not even kidding, it was like 72-hour romance. And I actually like hooked up with him, you know, unfortunately in that time. And like, we were like, and he was like, are you recording this? I was like, no. And he's like, you should be. And I was like, bro, this guy's just like really into the fantasy, you know? Because I was like, but yeah, there's no, like, I gotta be you a bit before we're filming, you know? Like, just to me,
different.
It's different. It's totally different. Like, I
have boyfriend girlfriend intimacy. It's different.
Yeah, I don't want it to, as much as I love making content, like, yes, help me get that bag, honey. But it's like more so, it's like, it's different when you film. That's where this guy I had hooked up with, like, he, you know, mentioned that he, like, you know, basically like, oh yeah, I film having sex too. And I'm just like, dude, there's no way. Like, it was so like whack, and just the shit. Like, it was so weird. Like, everything, I was like, there's no way.
From behind when they're like,
girl, I don't even want to. At one point, he literally was saying in and out. And I was like, am I in like a like, is this a joke right now? I was like,
bad content out there kills me.
I'm into older men. I don't know. I paused at that because I'm like, I'm trying not to be an older man, because I've come to realize that older men that are single sometimes, it's like for a fucking reason. Like,
this is true, but I do find that older men do more of the sort of typical gentleman things.
That's what I'm saying. They're seasoned.
Yes.
But that's the thing. Like, I'm not going to discriminate against the hairline situation, but like, just be don't be like, that's anything I tell everyone, be confident. You know, even height. How do you feel about height?
I prefer tall, but the shorter you are, it's more like, I really like beards. Okay. So if you got like, I refer to it kind of as like the tight little surfer body. So if you're like 5'6", you got a sweet beard and a little tight ab surfer body, you know the guys I'm talking about because they're in California. Then I'm like, oh, hello. And you're into what I've got going on? Yes, let's talk.
No, absolutely. And that's what it's like. With height, it's like, I don't care if like you don't care, man, you know, because it's like, at the end, I just dated somebody very briefly I'm 5'1". This motherfucker was 6'5". I was like, that's too tall.
I love 6'5". Oh my god.
But that's like it was cool, but it's like so fucking tall, man. Like,
oh my god. I know you're shorter than I am, and I'm barely 5'3". But I don't know what it is. It's like genetics or like something. A protection thing. Well, it's also like, I worked in sports for a few years, so being around men that were like 6'5" became very normal for me at one point in my life.
I can't, like, I choose to not look at like what you can provide for me. And a lot of guys, like that tall ass dude, very successful lawyer, like this gave me like a $500 spa gift card after knowing him for like 3 days. Which, like, thank you, but that's not normal. Like, that's not
normal. That's very sweet and thoughtful.
That's very like, and he's like, it wasn't a sugar daddy, but I'm like, that's very sugar daddy energy. But I realized, I'm like, because he can't really provide, like, we would talk and like get along, but like all he really knew how to provide was like monetary. And I'm like, I need like emotional availability, bro. I need you to text me back within not ghost me for a couple fucking days, you know?
Yeah. Oh my God. I mean,
I bought you something. Like, no.
Okay, we've got to move on to the next, the bonus feature interview. I'm going to call it. This is when I am so happy though that we did this, and everybody, if you haven't already seen it, Bella's website is scrolling across the bottom, so go check it out and click the links in our bio so you can see the special bonus feature interview we're about to do.
Yes.
Bye, y'all.